All right, let's talk about lesson 3, which is phase changes in heat. Before we talk about phase changes, we need to review the different types of matter: solids, liquids, and gases. So remember, solids have a definite shape, definite volume, they're constantly vibrating, and molecules are packed tightly in geometric crystalline patterns, such as you see in this picture down here. Liquids have no definite shape. They take the shape of their container, so they spread out to fill a container. They have a definite volume. They're constantly in motion. There's no real arrangement, and the molecules are further apart than solids but closer together than gases. Gases have no definite volume. They fill the container completely. There's no definite shape. They're constantly in motion and they have the most amount of movement. There's no arrangement, and the molecules are the furthest apart. So here are 3 pictures of solids, liquids, and gases in motion. So remember, solids have the strongest force of attraction between the particles. That's why it holds them together. Liquids have a moderate force of attraction between the particles. That's why they're allowed to move the way they are. And gases have the weakest force of attraction between the particles. So that's why they can move completely random, move all over the place, and move as they do. So there are phase changes that allow for us to go from solids to liquids to gases and so on and so forth. This direct relationship you should be the most comfortable with. You should know that when a solid goes to a liquid, it melts. When a liquid goes to a solid, it freezes. When a liquid goes to a gas, it evaporates. When a gas goes to a liquid, it condenses. And these two on the outside, you're probably least familiar with. When a solid goes directly from a solid to a gas, it sublimes, so that process is called sublimation. And when you have a gas go from a gas to a solid, it undergoes deposition. So, phase changes are endothermic. So when you have a solid and you add heat, it goes to a liquid, so it melts. When you have a liquid and you add heat, it goes to a gas, that's vaporization. When you have a solid and it goes to a heat, when you have a solid and you add heat to it and it goes to a gas, that's sublimation. Those are all endothermic processes because you're adding heat to the system. The processes or the phase changes that are exothermic are the opposite. So when a liquid goes to a solid and you freeze something, you're releasing heat, so that's exothermic. When a gas goes to a liquid and you release heat, that's condensing. And when a gas goes to a solid, you release heat, and that's the process called deposition. So thermochemistry is the study of energy changes that occur in chemical reactions. Remember, we have 2 types of energies. Kinetic energy, which refers to the energy of motion, that's based off the molecule's temperature, and potential energy, that refers to the stored energy. All right, so let's look at this phase change diagram so that we can see how this all fits together. So we have an increase in temperature, which is kinetic energy. We start off as a solid, then we change to a liquid, then we change to a gas. At these flat parts, that's when our phase changes are happening. If we're going from a solid to a liquid, then we're melting. If we're going from a liquid to a solid, then we're freezing. If we're going from a liquid to a gas, we're boiling. And if we're going from a gas to a liquid, we're condensing. This shows an increase in thermal energy, increase in heat, as well as this. And that's the end of lesson 3. We'll see you tomorrow.